Hey there. It's been a minute. I just looked to see if I had a candle nearby, but I don't. I'm not going to go get one at the moment. I'm going to show you your choices. So we've got pick 1, pick 2, and pick 3. You want to use your own intuition to decide which of these picks has a message for you. And this is going to be a look at what you are currently experiencing and the understanding you are gaining from this experience. Okay. Pick 1. That's where that goes. This is my altar behind me. And I've mostly shuffled the cards, but I think I'm just going to give them a couple more. And a couple more after that. So how have you been? Hope you're doing well. Okay. First we have flower power. You may be a gardener, and you may find that you are able to spend creative time with flowers or flower essences. Maybe you've been buying yourself flowers lately. Maybe there's a lot of flowers around your home, even if it's wildflowers. If you haven't noticed, maybe take a look. You're getting ready for winter. Maybe there's some sort of commitment that you've made for the winter time. Maybe you just took on a certain job. Something that you've agreed to do for the winter that's towards your overall goals. Maybe the people around you might not be doing okay. Like there may be some bothersome issues in the lives of the people around you. It may be trickling onto you, but mostly it's other people's issues. Other people are not okay around you. Maybe you are. Maybe that's making you feel a certain way. Other people are not maybe as content as you are at this point in life. The people that you're surrounded by might be in crisis and chaos. And perhaps that's put you in a position where you don't feel confident that you'll get what you want even if you ask for it. Maybe there's a fear of rejection. Maybe you don't feel like you deserve something certain. Your heart's closed to something. And I think it might have to do with the chaos that's around you. Maybe maybe it's just a winter job and the spring seems like it's a far off way. Like it's far off to spring. It's something that you're not feeling real confident about around the springtime. That's why I get the feeling it's a seasonal job or something like that, but take it how it resonates. I think you've been, trying to maybe fit in and be who you were, and now something's changed on the inside, and You know something's got to change. You know there's some other way that you're meant to be and express yourself. But because of, I think it's because of the people around you, you haven't been able to really like step into that new and express that new way you feel, or the new understanding you have. Maybe you haven't been communicating with your children. Maybe you're worried about your children. And your marriage. Maybe not feeling like you'll ever find the one. Maybe feeling like you've just waited too long, or that you're you're no longer a spring chicken. Maybe just feeling lack of love in the marriage that you're in. Maybe it needs a renewal of some sort, and you're just not feeling it. You're not feeling fresh and new about it. Maybe he doesn't bring you flowers or something like that. You are letting go of something that was perfectly imperfect. Could be the marriage. Could be because you couldn't express yourself. Could be the mask that you were wearing. And I don't mean a literal mask, but it could be that too. But I mean like a way that you were being just for the benefit of fitting in or navigating society. I think there's something to heal from your own childhood. That's what's trickling down through the relationship with your own children. If you don't have children, just take it as not being in touch with your own inner child, but it's because it needs some sort of healing. And you've been being guided through spirit messages to heal something emotional from childhood. It could be around marriage issues. It could be even affecting like the marriage issues and the issue of commitment, or the fact that you don't want to get married. Yes. Maybe you need to let go of the fears that were lodged in you through seeing others struggle in their marriage and be chaotic in their marriage. There's a healing that's really pressing, and it definitely has to do with your commitments. And you are the one to heal it, but you haven't found the way to do that, or you just haven't put your mind on it yet. You are perhaps in process of doing it. Instead of facing some of the uncomfortable feelings below the surface that would be the wounded inner child, you have chosen to walk away from certain things, maybe not realizing that those same situations will arise again and again and again because they're actually an echo of you and your subconscious. Okay. So, this is what Spirit wanted you to know about what you are experiencing and the understanding that you're meant to gain from it. So if we're looking at a situation like this, it looks like now you know what it's like to come in to have an experience in life where you get wounded as a child, that you make a decision to cope in a certain way, and that it later hinders you. That you feel like you have to hide certain parts of yourself and not be true to who you really are, because those that you're surrounded with are a match to your mask instead of who you really are, or they're a match to the wounded part of you. And that's why they will always reflect the wounds back to you. And no matter how many times you let go of people, that same situation always comes back because it's actually something inside you that happened as a child that needs to be understood. That's what you came to do. You came to understand what it is like to have that experience as a child, and what it is like to live that residual effect into adulthood, and what it is like to heal that experience that you had as a child. That's what you came here to understand as a being here on Earth. Okay? Let's get a little bit of advice for you. Oh, I love it. Live your bliss. So whatever makes you happy, do that. And be yourself. Express it. When you are true to who you really are, when you express what you really think about a thing, when you're no longer in the perspective of being something that you're not because you're trying to understand a perspective of life, the right people will be able to join you in your experience, because only the people that match your woundedness or your mask wearing can join you right now. And you also are being guided. Your highest self is there cheering you on. You have guidance. The ones that are telling you to heal, whatever that prompting you're getting from your soul, they're trying to tell you. You have guidance. You can just ask them. They will assist you. They'll show you. Ask for a sign. Tell them to show you what you need to do. Tell them to give you an experience to help understand what you need to understand. Maybe it'll come in a dream. Maybe it'll come through the words that someone else says. A television show. Lifting the veil. Questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. That's what your soul is here to do. Question everything. Why do I do this? When's the last time I felt this way? When's the first time I felt this way? What did I need when that happened? Can I give myself what that was? Can I accept that this is the reality? Anything that is unaligned with the true of who you are will fall away almost effortlessly. Okay? Alright. Okay, pick one. What a lovely reading. I hope that you find that helpful in some way. And it sounds like you are, from a human perspective, going through probably one of the more difficult experiences of being a human, which is being disappointed and not being fulfilled in love, and finding yourself committed in places that you find don't actually align to who you really are on a deep level. But this is not wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. No one else has done anything wrong. We've all just played a part here so that there could be an understanding about a situation and that growth could occur from it. Okay? So it's now time to use your free will to perpetuate the growth that's associated with the understanding you've gained from accepting this as the experience you had. Okay? Okay, pick one. Thank you for spending your time with me, and maybe I'll see you next time. Okay, pick two. Chose this cool stone here. I think Madagascar agate is what it is. Okay. Let's get started here. What are you experiencing now, and what are you meant to understand about it? Okay, a few things came, so this is a general reading, so just take what resonates, but like maybe the fact that you couldn't have a daughter, maybe your daughter not being with you, loss of a daughter, not ever feeling like you had a childhood, maybe like feeling robbed of your childhood. Maybe that your child was not in your home. Your daughter was not in your home. Your daughter ran away from home. I think there was no child and you maybe really wanted a child. Maybe you lost a child during pregnancy. She's with the angels. She's with the angels. I think you've been perhaps grieving this for a long time. And maybe a lot of people don't even know about it, or don't like let you grieve it, or don't let you express your grief about it. Maybe because they think you should be over it or something, and you're not. Okay. Maybe you are also single, or you lost your marriage, or there was a divorce, or you never found a partner. Maybe you lost your partner. Okay, that card fell and then it was upright afterwards. So even if you are married, perhaps it's like you've been considering divorce, but maybe it just broke your hearts, you know? And maybe the marriage suffered because of the situation. Maybe business suffered as well. Maybe you just lost confidence in life. You got this perspective of just being really let down. In order to have a rebirth from this situation, and when I say rebirth, to let that situation go, in order to be reborn again, and maybe even have another child, but not for everybody. There may be some forgiveness that needs to happen of yourself, of your expectations, of the universe, of your higher power, of God, whatever that is for you. As you release old anger or resentment, you will find that your wishes will come true. So this long process, maybe it hasn't been able to be really experienced because of the people around you. Maybe you were hiding it and not able to express your grief or move through your grief in a healthy manner. And therefore you got stuck in that process of grieving, and it really needs to be grieved out. So that you can move through the situation. You're trying to understand what it is like to have such great loss, and then to not be allowed to grieve that loss, to be expected to fill a role anyway, even though you feel incredibly distraught. Maybe in order to get through, you've just been kind of telling yourself, you know, trying to tell yourself the new story, but it just kind of feels like that is a heavy thing that you still carry. Maybe it's made you afraid to ask for more, to wish again, to trust in life, to give you what you want. Feel like you do want to offer this unconditional love to others and perhaps a child. And you've maybe been afraid to do that now. So this is actually a perpetuation of the pain. Is not, it's requiring you to actually take the time to love yourself as if you were the child that needed love, you know? Yeah, I don't think that you see the potential for new growth out of this situation. Like, it seems really bleak to you. Maybe you've been being guided to eat healthier, to change your diet in some way, maybe even eat vegetarian. It's supposed to give you more health and clarity. Okay, so that's, if you've been feeling that, getting the guidance to do that, this is affirming that yes, they would like you to do that, or maybe you've already done that. Like, don't wait till summer. Yeah, I feel like things feel real bleak for you. Like, they haven't been going your way, and you don't really trust the timing of things. You don't really trust that this was meant to happen this way, that this could happen this way, and it would be okay and right. There's something inside you, lodged in your subconscious, that is holding on to this as proof that you can't trust God or life or higher power. Okay? This was a very difficult situation. It's very painful to lose a life in this way. And even though it's very difficult, as a soul, this was something that your soul came to understand about what it is to be human and to have this loss, okay? And what it is to overcome and move through the grief that is associated with loss as being a human. Because it can be done. It is very difficult, and it will require you to honor how you feel. And then, ask for what you want. So if you've been not allowed to do that because of a belief that you picked up in childhood, who didn't listen to you when you wanted something? Who didn't honor how you felt when you were sad? The card says, trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. There's a lot about time here. And it may seem like you have, spent a lot of time in this grieving process, but this is what you came to experience, the longer grieving process, okay? So it's not wrong. Time is not running out. And this is waiting to be understood by you so that you can move through it, okay? And you're in fear, and it's understandable that it's clouding your view. Fear clouds our view. This says choose love over fear. What would love do? What would the most loving parent do? Say it was your child who lost their child. What would you do for that, your child who lost a child? You would want your child to be able to grieve through the process and then live again, and then know that there could be more love. The soul that was lost in this situation still exists. It's eternal. This being is eternal, is always with you, is accessible to you. Okay? Maybe you've been doing some things to avoid feeling the feelings of grief and uncomfortable loss. It's saying practice moderation. It's not saying quit anything, but it's just saying whatever you are doing, do it moderately. And possess self-confidence. This is an advice card. So it's urging you that you can be confident, that you can get through this, one. And two, that there is something for you. You need only ask and know that you deserve it, and know that it can come to you. It's up to you. This is a very difficult situation, and the way to survive, the way to move through this situation is to understand it. It says take responsibility for your actions. So in doing the practicing moderation, but also in responsibility is your ability to respond. And your ability to respond may have been influenced by outside people. So take it upon yourself. Know what you need. Give yourself what you need to move through this, okay? Do baby steps a little bit at a time. Do what feels most right to you, and take back all your power from these places where you felt disempowered, like life wasn't happening for you. Forgive the part of you that gave up, that decided that it was over with that loss, okay? Forgive the loss. Forgive the husband. Forgive the lack of the husband. Okay, the lack of support from others that you... that's another thing you're understanding, is what it's like to not be supported. That's very difficult. So accept that that's the case, and you support yourself instead. You support yourself, okay? That's the advice from Spirit. Okay, Pile 2, I hope that you find this helpful in some way. I want to thank you for spending your time with me. I want to acknowledge it's a very difficult thing that you're going through, and acknowledge that you can get through it. That you can learn to try again, to believe again, to let yourself love again. Okay? Okay. Thank you for spending your time with me. Maybe I'll see you next time. Hi, pick 3. I think this is like honey calcite. I'm not positive, but I think so. So that's the stone you chose. Let's see what the cards say. We're doing, what is the experience you're having, and what is the understanding that you're hoping to gain from it as a soul? Okay. Maybe it's been a period of time where you've gone without, where things have felt scarce. Or another way to look at this would also be, you live for the winter time, and we're coming into your season. You may be letting go of commitments that you had made. You've been guided to do so. Maybe there's been some sort of angelic influence helping you along this time of letting go of what you need to, and controlling things, and letting go of commitments, so that what is meant for you at this time comes in. I think there are people around you that you don't feel comfortable asking for what you want, or maybe you've asked and they don't listen. Some outside influence. The people around you, maybe that you've committed to, have not been carrying what you want, or hearing what you want, or you haven't felt comfortable enough to express it. Maybe that's why you've been going without. I think you are being assertive at this time, though. So maybe this was a shift, right? You've been, like, winter's your time. You're letting go of what doesn't serve you. You realize there are certain people around you that you can't ask what you want, but you're determined to be assertive anyhow. Knowing perhaps that those that will fall away will fall away. You're affirming yourself. You're, giving yourself what you need to build up your confidence. Telling yourself that you can do it, that you're good enough, that you deserve it, that you're worthy, that, you know, that it's okay to let go, and things like this. I think you're becoming your own spiritual teacher in a way. You're not really wanting to look outside you during this rebirth process that you've been going through. You've done it yourself. Yeah, there's been a lot of force. Even though you've been letting go of control of some things, there's been sort of a force used, your will used to go towards things that you love. You've let go of some things that you loved too, even things that you loved in the summertime, like recently, you know, depending on where you are. And when you watch this, the seasons may not apply literally, you know, so just keep that in mind. There was something that you were trying to create or trying to birth that didn't come to fruition, or it didn't come the way you wanted it to. It was perfectly imperfect. The way it came was perfect, but I don't think you could see it that way. You learned something, a spiritual lesson. Maybe you tried to start a certain business and it didn't get off the feet, get on its feet or something. Maybe you've been, working on something, but there's actually something else that you're meant to be doing. And you've been getting guidance about it, but maybe not hearing it or not listening. Not feeling like you want to surrender that much control to follow a new path and be a beginner again and do something new that you're not good at. And maybe feeling like like there's been some sort of failure around your son or your inner masculine, but like noticing that your son didn't accomplish something that he wanted, perhaps a new job. Maybe it's something where you were trying to accomplish something that was more like an expectation of your father or your mother, but you didn't accomplish it, so it's like you're failed as the son in that way for some of you. There's just some more things that you're supposed to let go of in your subconscious beliefs that are holding you back, okay? So you started out good here, letting go of certain things, but there's more, but then you just started to get determined to kind of make up for the things that are kind of falling away and to keep some sort of stability with the situation being in flux. But there's still something else that your guidance is trying to tell you and lead you towards. So there's a little bit more to be understood about this, and I think it might have to do with the expectations of your parents and those around you. And the rejection of a spiritual teaching. And the rejection of a birth of something new. And not letting go of a cycle. There's a cycle that still needs to be understood so that you can let go of it. Okay? And it's around those things. Karmic relationships, yeah. Orient energy, polarity, soul growth, conflict. So through these conflicts, or just misunderstandings, or, you know, whatever they may be, you are learning something about polarity and growing your soul through the understanding you gained through these relationships, which are karmic, meaning they were wholly for the reason that they perpetuated an energy for you to understand. The whole relationship's purpose was to perpetuate an energy for you to understand. The whole purpose of the relationship was for you to understand this energy. So once you understand it, these relationships will fall away. You won't have to work so hard towards achieving something because you'll hear your guidance. You'll trust your intuition. And you'll know what to do. Understand your body. So your body may be trying to lead you by, feelings it's having. And know that you do have this guidance, Ask for it. Ask them to give you signs. Ask straight up questions. They may come in the form of a television show or a conversation you have. And also, forgive yourself, because you have done nothing wrong. You literally just came to experience this so that you could understand it as a human. From the human perspective, humans needed to understand this. You have a mind that understands things. So, you also have a drive in your body to get things done, and a stamina, and a will. And you like using those things too. So, it's understandable that those things would be kicked in to pick yourself up, but there's a little bit more to scrape down into the understanding of when it comes to these looping energies that are perpetuating you in a cycle of not listening to your spiritual guidance. There's spiritual guidance for you, trying to get your attention to help you birth something new on earth, something that will sustain you, perhaps your family, something new that hasn't been here before, something that you will need to use that drive for once you know what it is. You're hardy. I can see with the winter card being at the roots. You're hardy. You can get by on very little sustenance. Maybe you just thought the timing wasn't right, or things like that. And that's why things weren't working and why you had to work so hard. Let's ask about that timing. Spirit, tell us about the timing. You've been busy. You've been busy staying in a cycle. Timing, we got 7 to 8 months, 6 months. This has been going on, and it has to do with how you relate to other people. This relationship is it past due? It's perhaps a friendship. Perhaps someone you've lived with or spent time in the home with, and there is a parting of ways. You're finding out the truth. The truth was that you had a certain weakness, and this situation exposed you to it. And it's been pressing on you for quite some time, up to 8 months here. So it's okay to let that go. The truth is that maybe this person will come back to you in a higher way, later on. But yeah, you've been shown your weakness, so tend to that weakness. Reparent yourself through that situation. It's like, okay, when's the last time you felt this way? whatever that relationship brought up in you. When's the first time you felt this way? Something in your childhood. What did you need when that happened originally in your childhood? What did you need? Where was your passion cut off? Where did you start using logic instead? Where did you start using your will and drive to kind of pick up the slack for something? Try to stay on track and accomplish what you were told to be a good son. And then once you give yourself what you need, accept that that was the case. Accept that you were treated that way. Accept that you abandoned yourself in a way to keep up what was needed and asked of you, instead of asking for what you needed. And then love the part of yourself that felt that way. Give that part love. That part is welcome to be with you. You know, you got that part's back. You really do. You are obviously very strong and capable and able. And once you have this part back with you and loved, you will more easily be able to assert yourself and stand up for yourself. It'll just be easier. What you're already doing will just be a lot easier. Then you'll hear your guidance. You'll be able to trust your guidance when you hear it. And then you will go forward with all that stamina, paying attention to the details as you go, to create what you came here to create. Okay. Okay. One more card here. Huh. You are here for a reason. Yeah. Yeah. And you may know that, but there's like an actual specific thing that you're going to be doing that you may not be aware of yet. Because maybe you've gotten the air of it, but you haven't solidified it, you haven't grounded it because the ground's been too cold. You've been still trying to be and do something else. Okay? So all you're doing is making room for the new, which is what your soul wanted you to do. Okay? And let the karmic relationships drop away because they've served their purpose. As you understand what it's like to be in that situation. Okay? It's not wrong to have experienced that. That's what you came to experience. You will find that information that you've gathered through the experience useful for what you came here to do. Okay? Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope this is helpful in some way. Maybe we'll see you in the future.